Good afternoon, esteemed investors, managers, and fellow colleagues. We're the Group for Good, and today we'll be diving into the problem of food waste and introducing our innovation, which strives to eradicate it. Food is an essential part of all of our lives. We have 3 meals per day, and in the Hong Kong setting, food is often premiumized. We have high-scale dinners with clients, we have large buffets during special occasions, but while we enjoy these aspects of food, what we don't see is the food that is not consumed, that is not bought, and that is sadly thrown away. Now, Hong Kong is not innocent in this game. Out of all the solid waste that is sent to landfills every day, 34% of that is food. And according to the Feeding Hong Kong organization, this amounts to a total of 3,200 tons of food wasted every day. For you to visualize this, imagine 250 double-decker buses filled with food and sent to landfills. Now, on a global scale, this phenomenon is even more severe. All of the food waste from 1 year, according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, can feed over 1 billion people suffering from hunger and poverty. We can see here that there's a large potential of saving this food and redistributing it to people in need, and this is where Group for Good was born. We want to ask you for your guidance and for your support as we launch into motion, as we put on our gloves and try to fight this food waste problem starting in Hong Kong. Group for Good wants to start with commercial food waste. Whether it be packaged or ready-made, these food sources waste up to 90 tons of food per day. This is the weight of 1,500 full-grown adults, which shows that there's indeed an immense amount of food waste. And the reality of this is that 1/3 of this food is still edible. And if saved, could not just recuperate losses of $20 million per year, but save a huge amount of food and effort that farmers put into painstakingly nurturing these kinds of food for our consumption. We see here that there's a huge potential to save this food, but what do consumers think? According to the Green Council of Hong Kong, a large percentage of us want to support the environmental good. 90% of their respondents of a 1,000-person survey indicated that they would support restaurants that helped to reduce or recycle food waste. So Group for Good wanted to find this out for ourselves. We distributed a questionnaire to 300 people and found out that indeed, yes, we do have the mindset to help. In fact, over 90% of our respondents stated that they were saddened by food waste, especially if it could have been bought and consumed by a consumer before being thrown away. And so from here we see that there's a supply of food and a demand of food. But there are key industry players currently operating in our domain. From our competitors map, you can see in the bottom left, organizations that mainly rely on donations from commercial sources. They process the food they receive, cook it, and redistribute it to those in need, mainly the older generation that cannot work anymore. They're rather highly unprofitable because they rely on donations to sustain their business. On the other side of our competitors map, we see Food Savior and Green Price. Food Savior is an organization that matches consumers to restaurants that have excess food, while Green Price is one supermarket in Kwun Tong area that bulk buys food that is close to expiry and redistributes it at largely discounted prices. Both of these organizations have low penetration, and so from here we saw a niche that we could enter, where we make a highly profitable business and target the younger generation of 15 to 29-year-olds and gather them to join us on our food saving movement. Additionally, our target market buys food to eat for the short term, and this makes buying close to expiry foods before they're thrown away largely profitable. They're also discount loving, which is an attribute of close to expiry foods. They're technologically savvy, and most importantly, they're impact seeking. Our target market yearns to make a positive impact in the world, and our innovation will not just give them access to this kind of food, but kickstart a food-freeing revolution. With food just waiting on shelves and consumers unknowingly wandering the streets, we want to start a food-freeing revolution, and so we introduce to you our application called Free the Food.
Thanks, Colleen. Free the Food is an application which revolutionizes the shopping experience of close-to-expiry foods by incorporating real-time location services into the process. We aim to partner with commercial sources such as supermarkets, convenience stores, and bakeries, which will utilize our inventory management system to display their most updated close-to-expiry inventory to our users. Our users can log onto our application to search for these items wherever they are, immensely improving their access to knowledge while maintaining convenience. This is the prototype of our application homepage. As can be seen on the screen, there are 3 panels that can be accessed on the homepage, and they are newly added, shop by category, and nearby. These pages essentially categorize the different product lines our application carries, so consumers can easily search for the food to save. Let's say someone is returning home from work and they realize that they need to buy bread for breakfast tomorrow. They can then use the nearby function to find stores with close to expiry goods near them, in this case, bread. We believe that consumers will be incentivized by our app to save these foods from becoming a waste. In this prototype, we can see that a welcome supermarket close by has listed 3 items that are near expiry. Interested users can then extract a special code from our page and then later scan the code with the cashier when they're making their purchase. This is how commercial retailers and consumers successfully collaborate to free the food. In order to encourage the involvement of our users in this food freeing revolution, we will be introducing a membership system in which our users can gain points from saving food through our application. With our specific codes for purchase that our food freers use, we can have a data pool of information on their purchases, which can account for points. The more points they have, the larger the badge they will earn, which can signify their level in their food freeing journey. As you can see here, this pie icon is actually a badge that this person has earned from participating in our food freeing revolution, and that she's on her way to earning the second badge. And she's also a little hero, which represents her budding level of engagement. Points can be used to redeem rewards such as tickets, coupons, and homeware. As more users join our platform, an alliance of heroes will help eliminate this food waste. As Colleen previously mentioned, the current industry climate has allowed us to enter this market with a large competitive advantage. Let's start off with our commercial partners who act as our suppliers of food. First of all, their ability to turn a profit on these close to expiry foods is raised significantly as its exposure increases through our application. The awareness consumers have on them will be much higher than the in-store promotions that they were previously limited to. Thus, instead of making losses on these foods, they can actually make a higher than marginal profit on them by actually selling them. On the other hand, their brand reputation of being environmentally friendly and socially responsible will also become more visible to the public than solely cooperating with NGOs, because customers are actively involved with our application and they will cognitively know about the retailer's efforts in this food-freeing revolution. To our customers, on the other hand, we are cultivating a community of food savers and directly involving them in the social revolution of eradicating food waste. We empower them by giving them this opportunity to make a positive social impact. And also, moreover, we act as an information source and we actively collate inventory resources in a comprehensive form to give people access to this knowledge. Lastly, for us, since we don't collect the food and instead act as a platform of matching supply and demand, we don't have any inventory costs at all. And fixed cost is relatively lower than our competitors too, as we don't have to carry out any further redistribution or processing on the food. Thus, we are confident that our platform will be able to generate great societal impact while not sacrificing profits. Speaking of profits, let me pass the time to Abby to talk about our financials.
Thanks, Eric. Our revolutionary project will be self-sufficient and sustainable through two main channels of revenues. First, we hope to receive the revenues from our partner stores. Through their sales of close to expiring food, we'll be able to collect 10% of the commission fee based on their food selling price. And second is through the advertisement from our potential partners or the other companies. Through these two main channel revenues, we'll be able to sustain our application and offer the application for our users for free. Before I tapped into our expected business return to justify my confidence previously mentioned, I want to first lay out the assumptions we have when building up our financial model. First, we assume we're gonna onboard an exponentially increasing number of stores, which means the store penetration will start from 15% to 40% and finally reaches 80%. Such that we could have more stores penetrated. Then at the other part for the cost structure, we think as we operate for a longer period of time, we're able to cut our operational expense such that our total cost structure will be optimized and decreased over time. Then as a consolidation of our channels of revenues, it will consist of 10% of the commission fee based on the redeemed food price from the partner stores and the advertisement fee, which we estimate to be 2% of our sales revenue from the commissions. Besides of our assumptions, we are able to derive our P&L model. First, let's look at the revenue. With an increasing number of stores we could reach, we think our revenue will be able to soar up from 130K to 370K and then finally reaches 800K. And then for the cost, we think we're able to cut from 550K to 330K and then finally stabilize at 300K. So with increasing revenue and declining cost, we think we will have a positive EBIT at the end of the second year and reaches 480K at the end of the third year. Based on our estimated cash flow, we project that we will reach our break-even point at the end of the 15th month with 1.3 million investment upfront. Through our financial model, we think our business is financially sustainable and profitable. But besides the financial sustainability, we also want to demonstrate the social impact we could generate, namely how much food we could save through our platform. So currently, based on our roadmap, we will focus on the system development for our platform, and the BD team will also help us to engage our clients, such that by the end of the first year, we will be able to have 3,000 stores on board plus 1K users, and in total, we could save 1 million worth of food. Then by the end of the second year, we hope to have 800 stores on board plus 2K users, and in total we could save 35 million worth of food. Based on our 3-year plan, we hope to have 1.6K stores on board plus 10K users, and most importantly, we could save up to 80 million worth of food in Hong Kong dollar. We think we have the ability to achieve this, giving some source of help from you guys. First, I think we hope to envision a world where there's no food waste problem and hunger can be completely eradicated. To achieve this goal, we think we need the support from every single one of you sitting here, and with regard to this, we have several recommendations for you to take. First, we hope to receive the investment of 1 million from the senior management team, plus the further support as 300K from our fellow investors. The investment will be mainly used for the system development and maintenance, plus the onboarding and negotiating with our clients, together with the promotion of our platform and some miscellaneous cost. Moreover, through our journey to acquire more clients, your strategic insights, especially from the senior management team, could help us to advance our development. Thus, our goal is to have a increasing sales revenues and declining operating expense. That's to further expand our efficiency of running up the business as a social enterprise. But most importantly, in the end, we hope each one of you sitting here could join the movement to save the world wherever you are, by freeing one imperfect grocery at a time. Thank you.